Hi everyone, I'm Xinyuan, and I'm a student from National University of Singapore. Today, I'm very happy to share my work improving recommendation system with user personality inferred from product reviews. Over the past 2 decades, we know that recommendation system has become a growing field in artificial intelligence, and with the emergence of online marketplace such as Amazon and Taobao, it has created an urgent need to help users deal with the increase of information items online, in which recommendation system play an important role. Simply speaking, recommendation system is to recommend items to ended users. So early works on recommendation system, they are based on the observation that users prefer to make decisions based on recommendation provided by their surroundings. As a result, the recommendation algorithms were designed to stimulate user consumption behavior, and such user behavior are largely influenced by users' profile. For example, the people with different age, education, and the demographic information, they have different preferences in the recommendation system. Besides those static profiles, the user's psychological profiles, such as the user's personality and also the emotions, they're also vital, but is less explored in this area. Moreover, the personality has been shown that it affects the user's preference. So for example, in the movie domain, the open people, they're more likely to watch comedy movies. And in the music domain, the openness people, is correlated with the preference for energetic music genre. So based on this motivation, our work focused on two parts. So first is how can we automatically acquire personality data for recommendation system, and how can we explore the impact of personality on recommendation system. To simply answering the questions, for the first question, to acquire the personality data, we informed from the product reviews, and for the second question, we choose to add personality as additional features to the recommendation system, and I will talk in details. So how can we acquire personality data? First, let me introduce the basic personality model for you a little bit. So this ocean model, or we call it Big Five model, is one of the most popular personality model in the psychology area. So it contains 5 aspects of personality. So those are openness to experience. For example, that openness shows that the people, they often have excellent ideas, and they think they are quick to understand new things. And also for the conscientiousness personality means that I'm always well prepared. I like order. I never forget my belongings. And for extroversion means that the people, they like to talk and assert themselves. For example, they think they are the life of the party, and they don't mind being the center of attention. And the agreeableness means that the agreeableness individuals, they usually think they are very considerable, very kind, very generous, and they are very helpful to others. And last is the neuroticism, is to measure the people that with the high sensitivity of the emotion. For example, some people may think when they get up, they feel very upset, or they're much more easier to get anxious than the other people. So after I introduce the personality model, so next question is that how can we acquire this personality from automatically? So in our work to construct our data set, we use the receptivity API to capture the personality feature from the text. So this is a computational language psychology platform for understanding human behavior. we use the personality API package part. The price is about $500 per month, including 250,000 words. So the input is a piece of text such as a piece of reviews or a piece of passage. And the output is 5 category personality score. And also the more words in the text, the higher the accuracy is. And also, more than 300 words, they are better. We choose the Amazon review dataset, which contains the user's product review from Amazon. So this is the larger, this is a large product review dataset, including the ratings, the item-to-item relationships, and also some product descriptions, etc. So this is an example of Amazon review dataset. Like we use the user ID, also the item ID, and the piece of review text, and the overall rating score here. Also, we choose to analyze whether the personality have different influences on users' behaviors for different domains. We choose the beauty domain and also the music domain. So after the input is the user's review text, and we select those reviews that are larger than 300 words. And after this filtering process, and the statistics of our pilot datasets are listed in the table here. And for the next for the model part is that we select the neural collaborative filtering, shorted as NCF, as our baseline model. To compare the impact of adding personality, we also set NCF plus random, which means that we randomly assign a personality label. And NCF plus same means that we assign the same personality label to all the users, versus the NCF plus the most salient personality, that is to assign the most salient personality label. And also to compare the impact of multiple personality distribution, we also designed 2 models. Those are NCF plus soft labeled. Is that we take all the personality scores and obtain a personality distribution with softmax. And the NCF plus hard-coded means that we directly add all personality scores as additional feature vector in the network. And I will talk these models in detail in the next slide. So the first method is the most salient part. So in this part, we introduce a 4-dimensional personality vector for each of the 5 types of personalities, which are learned during training. And we treat the most salient personality as the user's personality label, and concatenate the corresponding personality vector with the user's latent vector. And the second method is that is the soft labeled method. So in this model, we make full use of all of the 5 personality traits information. We first apply a softmax function to map the personality scores into a probability distribution of personality, and afterwards the personality distribution is used as a weight to calculate the weighted sum of the 5 personality vectors, and the output vector is then concatenated with the user latent vector as the input of the MLP. For the hard-coded personality, so this model also take into account of all of the 5 personality traits information. But instead of introducing the learnable personality vectors, we directly scale each personality score by 100 and to get a hard-coded 5-dimensional vector to represent the user's personality information. And this vector is also concatenated with the user's latent vector, but is fixed during training. After introducing the model part, here comes our first research question, is that can we accurately detect the personality from text? So since there are over 2,000 users in total in our data sets, so it is time consuming to manually evaluate them all. So we choose to manually examine the users that receive extremely high scores for each personality traits, and we ask 2 graduate students, and we give them the personality score and also the review text. we ask them to choose whether this personality score or whether this personality label is matched with the review text. The answer is yes, no, or not sure. We find that the inferred personality matches the review text in 81% of the Amazon Beauty samples and 79% from the Amazon Music. And the average cohort kappa is 0.7, which means it's a substantial agreement. And we also observe that people with different personalities, they have different language habits. So for example, the extroverts, they tend to use love, this kind of word, and also the exclamation marks because they have a strong tendency to express their affection. And people who are agreeable, they usually buy bought the items for other people, such as my kids or my wife, perhaps because they have inclusive. The next question is that does the incorporating personality improve the recommendation system performance? So here's our main results. So if we see the first three rows, we find that NCF plus most salient personality, they performs better than the NCF plus random and the NCF plus same in terms of both HR and NDCG. So this shows that the adding personality features indeed help. If we explore the effect of multiple personality compared to the single personality model, we can see the last rows. We find that the NCF plus soft labeled and hard-coded, they're larger. The performance, they're better than the NCF plus most salience in terms of NDCG. So we conclude that multiple personality features, they're better than one single feature. To gain a better understanding of the improvement brought by incorporating personality, so we separately evaluate the HR and the NDCG for the 5 personality traits. And the plus sign means the NCF plus soft label model, or we call it with personality information. And the minus indicates the NCF plus same model, or we call it without personality information. And the improvement brought by adding personality is prominent on all of the 5 personality traits. In particular, the type of conscientiousness has the largest gain in terms of HR and the NDCG here. So in summary, we make a preliminary attempt to explore how to automatically inform users' personality traits from product reviews and how the inferred personality can benefit from the recommendation systems. However, we still have a few limitations. So first is that capturing personality from the review text may lead to some selective bias. So for example, the introverts, they're less likely to share their thoughts online, while the extroverts, they are more likely to share their experiences. The second is that we only conduct our experiments we conduct our experience on whether personality information benefits recommendation. However, more depth investigation is also necessary on how personality affects recommendation and user behavior. For example, in the future, we can develop different marketing strategies for users with different personalities. And we can also observe the effect of these different strategies on the user's behavior so that we can gain a better understanding of how personality affects a recommendation. The third is that we only select the one basic model to conduct our experiments. So in the future, more SOTA model should be used. And the last is that currently we encode the 5 personalities independently in our model, but there is actually a possible correlation between these 5 personalities in real life. So more inner relationship in between this personality could be captured in the future. Thank you, that's all.